the .NET nerdom continues with C#14. Now, in .NET, you can actually write 3 different languages on the .NET platform. You can write F#, VB.NET, or C#, but my choice is C#. And so with every new version of .NET, we now also get a new version of C#, which obviously comes with features. And so what I wanted to do was highlight, just like I did for .NET 10, I wanted to highlight the feature in C#14 that I think is the most exciting. And again, maybe my choice isn't the most earth-shattering of choices, but I think in this case, it's a feature that is going to unlock new ways we can express ourselves in the code that we write. And so the feature I want to talk about is this extension members feature. If you've been writing C# in recent years, you know that there's these things called extension methods. And if you've actually been writing much C# with kind of the built-in standard libraries, a lot of the methods that you call are actually extension methods under the hood. So I think it speaks to the expressiveness of that language feature when the .NET team themselves are using it all over the place. Now, the one hindrance with extension methods is they're just methods, right? You can't add any other types of members to these types that may or may not be under your control. And so what they're introducing in C#14 is expanding that ability to not just to define methods, but also to define other members. And so I wanted to walk you through just a quick demo of what this new feature looks like and how you go about migrating from maybe your existing extension method syntax to this new extension member syntax. So let's go ahead and jump into the demo here. And all I have here is a very simple C# console app with just top level statements. And I have this long string, as you'll see over here, that I'm truncating with this extension method that I've declared down below here, because we all know the string type doesn't have that truncate method on it out of the box. It's something that I've added. And then I'm just printing that truncated string out. So if we run this code, what we'll see is we should see something like this is very long or something like that. So we're going to miss part of the message. There we go. This is very long, right? So nothing earth-shattering there. So this is your standard extension method syntax. We've all probably written this a few dozen times, where you're basically saying this, which is referring to the instance of the string that your method is operating on. So in the new world, or in C#14, this new extension member syntax is actually going to require you to declare a new block within your class. And in this case, it's going to be declared by using the extension keyword. And then you're going to give it some curly brackets to obviously denote that extension block and its scope. Now, the thing you're going to pass to the extension keyword is actually going to be a type declaration. So we're actually going to say, what type are we acting on here? And then because we actually want to declare a method that applies to the instances of strings, we actually need to identify a name for the instance. So in this case, we're going to identify the string as stir. Or I guess we could actually identify this value. That might be a little bit easier to migrate our truncate method since it refers to the instance's value as well. So let's go ahead and just grab all this code down here, and we're going to pop it into our extension block here. And now things aren't quite happy yet, but if we do a little bit of cleanup, the first of which is we no longer need to use we no longer need to provide the instance of our string as the first parameter to our extension method. We no longer have to say this string value, because that's coming from the named parameter that we passed up at the top of our extension block now. So we'll just go ahead and clean that out. Now, obviously, this is going to continue to complain because now our method is referring to value, which is an instance, but our method is still being defined as a static method. Well, that's not going to work. So all we have to do is remove that static keyword, and now we're basically in the new world, right? So this is how you would just define that same extension method that you would have defined previously, maybe in C#13, now in C#14. So if we run our code, we'll get the same result. So we'll just say .NET run. This is a very long something. We don't know what it is anymore. Now, though, let's take it a step further and let's look at, okay, so how would I add additional members? So let's say I actually want to add a static method to the actual string type. How would I go about doing that? So let's say, for example, maybe I didn't want to hard code this string here. Maybe I just want to have a randomly generated long string. So let's go ahead and copy this variable, and we'll make a copy of it and paste it down below. And so instead of this long string being something I hard code, let's say that I want to actually generate it randomly. So it'd be really great if I had a method, a static method on the string type, where I could say dot create random, and then I could pass in some number. So create me a random string of some arbitrary length, right? Fill it with junk, I don't care. So let's say I want to create it of a length of 30. So let's go ahead and define this new static method on our string type. So what we'll do is we'll come down here to our extension block where we were before, and what we'll do is we'll say public static, right? That's the key. So now we're saying, instead of this being an instance level method on the string, on some instance of a string, we're saying this is a static method that lives on the actual string type. So we're saying public static, it returns a string, and we're going to call it create random, and it's going to take in a int, let's say, and this is going to be our length. And then let's open this method up, and let's actually paste in our very long string from up here. So this will be kind of our template of our list of characters that we want to actually use to build the random string. So let's change this to a constant. Let's define it as a string. And let's actually change this, instead of very long string, let's change this thing's name to just be chars. So this is our list of characters, essentially, that we're going to generate random bits of strings from. Then what we're going to do is we're going to say, give me a random instance, like this, and give me a result, which is just going to be an array of char that is the length that the user asked for. And then let's go ahead and start the loop. So we'll say for var I equals 0, and I is less than the length that the user gave, we are going to increment I, right? This is your basic for loop, nothing groundbreaking here. We are just going to fill each position in our result array with some character based on a random value according to the length of our candidate characters, right? And then we're just going to return this as a new string by creating a string from our array of characters. And so now we have an actual create random static method on our string type. So if we run our code again, we should get the same number of characters, but it's going to be gobbledygook because we're just grabbing it randomly. All right, very cool. Awesome, right? Okay. Now what we're going to talk about is kind of the cool thing, right? Which is now we're moving beyond methods, and now we're talking about actual properties, right? Other things than methods can be extended on these types. So wouldn't it be cool if I have the ability to just know the number of words in a string all the time? Every string can tell me how many words are on it based on some criteria that I've defined. So let's pop down into our extension block again. So for example, let's say I have, before we do that, let's say I have a message, and let's say I have a message that says C#14 is kick ass. And let's say instead of the actual message, let's say I want message word count. And it'd be really great if I could just say dot word count like this. And then if I wanted to, I could print that to the screen. So let's just write that out. Now, obviously, strings don't by default have a word count property, right? But let's say as a user, I want it to. So we're going to come down here to our extension block. And what we're going to do is we're going to declare a property. So we're going to say public int word count. Now, normally in the old world, you say, well, okay, well, it's got to be a method, right? Not anymore. So now what we can do is we can come down here and we can say, give me a getter. And this getter will do what I say it should do. So the first thing it'll do is it'll check to see if the instance of the string that I'm working on is actually null or white space. So we'll say is null or white space, and we'll pass in the value. Now remember, the value is the instance of the string that this property or methods are working on, which I defined up in my top of my extension block. And so if this is the case, well, then the word count's easy. It's just 0. Now, what we want to do is we actually want to get the words when there is an actual string that has words in it. So what we'll do is we'll declare a variable called words, which is going to be equal to the value dot split. And in our case, we're going to define words by saying split on an empty space, split on any tab. Let's also split on, let's say, a new line. This shouldn't be TD. This should be a tab. Let's also say, because there are carriage returns out there, so let's say also split on the R. And then we're going to remove any empty entries, because we're smart like that. And then we're just going to return the length of that words array that we split. And so now our code is happy. Rosalind says you're good to go here. So let's go over and run our code. So we'll say .NET run. And we should see 5 in some random truncated string. Very cool, right? I know. Somebody's out there thinking, like, this guy thinks this is cool. What else is there? But I think this is an example of kind of a subtle but powerful feature, just like extension methods were, where on its face, we think, okay. But as we get into the coming year and the years after, where we start finding ways to leverage this language feature, this new language feature in our code, I think we're going to come to find it's a very powerful feature that's going to allow us to express things that previously we just couldn't quite figure out how to express, or maybe just didn't quite work quite well with an extension method. And I think in years to come, there'll be a lot of properties on a lot of types that you interact with that under the hood are just an extension that somebody's provided as the user of that type, or the author of some library that you pulled into your project. So I hope you thought this was interesting. I hope you found it helpful. Like I said, the team over, the C# team has done a wonderful job laying out all the new features they've added in C# 14. I'll link to the stock in the description. As always, if you found this helpful, or maybe you just want to share what your favorite feature is in C#, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. And with that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys later. All right. Bye, y'all.